Hello, welcome to episode number 3 of the Direct Response PT Websites podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since the last episode and quite a lot has happened. We managed to get our referral program figured out, at least enough to get it started. Emails went out yesterday to everybody. It took a fair bit of thinking about, and I'm not certain that we've got it spot on just yet, but at least we've got enough to get moving forward with. And again, I've asked this in a previous episode, are you doing a referral program with your clients? If you are, how's that working for you? And if you're not, why aren't you? Have you thought about it? Have you tried it and it didn't work? I would love to hear how a referral program is or isn't working for you. Right, okay. The webinar that I mentioned in episode 1. That's done. That was done at the end of last week. That was actually termed a website masterclass, and the title of it, if you're interested, was 3 Secrets to a More Profitable Website. Now, there's more than 3 things that you need to get right in a website to make it profitable, and it was a bit of a challenge for me to narrow it down to 3 things that I could deliver within the space of just an hour. But I did it, and these are the 3 things that I talked about. So, first of all, written content, copywriting. Next, social proof. And thirdly, forms. So I'm just going to very quickly tell you a little bit more about each of those. Written content. We always recommend that you work with a professional copywriter. You might think that you're good at writing. I'm not going to say that you're not. I'm just going to say that, trust me, you're probably not writing good content for your website. It might sound good. You might read it and think, God, that sounds really great. You might ask other people to read it and they say, sounds great. How it sounds is not the important thing. It's how it resonates with your perfect patient. You have to consider that. It has to be the top priority. Working with a professional copywriter is essential, in my opinion, in order to get your message to resonate with your perfect patients so that they'll trust you and take action. Next, secret number 2, social proof. When used correctly, and what I mean by social proof, testimonials, case studies, success stories, Google reviews. There's 3 main things that social proof can do. It can do a heck of a lot more, but listen to this. It can counter objections. It can help people visualize their improved future life. Just think about that one. It's amazing. Helping people to visualize their improved future life. And it can increase the amount of money that people are willing to spend. So getting social proof right on your website is essential. And thirdly, forms. It's really worth taking the time to improve the forms on your website. You must have a separate form for each type of inquiry that you want visitors to make. A generic multi-purpose type form is not an option. You can't expect people to fill out a contact form if they're interested in a telephone consultation. You've got to give them a telephone consultation form. Better forms equals more and better leads. So that was the 3 secrets that I talked about in the website masterclass. Okay, back to what I want to talk about mainly in this episode. Pricing. It's because of various conversations that I've had with people over the past couple of weeks, conversations with clients, with prospective clients, the rest of the team here at Direct Response PT Websites, friends and family. So I want to keep the podcast on the topic of websites and marketing as much as I can, but I really want to talk today about pricing because, of course, what you charge has a direct impact on the quality of the service that you're able to provide. It also impacts your ability to develop new services, because if your business isn't providing you with time to think, then things are going to stagnate eventually. So it's important to know what your clients really want from you. And in your case as a PT, we know that they want pain relief. Hopefully they want to get back to activities that they love. But do you know what else they want from you? Have you actually asked them? Do you have time to stop and think about this? Or are you too busy being busy? A wise person once said to me, Most businesses aren't charging enough to provide the kind of service that people want to pay for. And that has really stuck with me. And I see evidence of this all around me. Usually it presents itself through customer service, poorly trained staff who aren't able to provide good service because they simply don't know how to. Or they haven't been trained properly. So maybe the business owner or the manager didn't invest time training the staff properly. For whatever reason, maybe they just couldn't afford to, too busy. Maybe they're not paying enough to attract the quality of staff who are capable of being trained. Now, I'm not saying that we weren't charging enough here at Direct Response PT Websites in order to provide a good service that people want to pay for. I do believe that we were, but only just. And I realised that I'd fallen into the trap of believing that people don't want to pay premium prices. And that was simply because of a series of sales meetings where I didn't close the deal. And I made the excuse to myself that it must be because our prices are too high. But, of course, that isn't true. The problem really was that I wasn't communicating the value of what we can deliver properly. I was also used to having really warm word-of-mouth leads who, by the time they arrived at a sales meeting with me, they were really just looking for confirmation that they were making the right decision by choosing to work with us. And minds were pretty much already made up. However, since we started ramping up our own marketing rather than relying on word of mouth, because, as you probably know, you can't predictably grow business on word of mouth alone. So as we started ramping up our own marketing, the leads that have been coming through have been colder and it's been harder to convert them. I actually told myself that the problem was that the cold leads need too much education. They're not ready to work with us because they don't understand the importance of direct response marketing. Can you believe it? Can you believe that I made that excuse to myself? That these leads, the colder leads, they're not ready to work with us. They need too much education first. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And thankfully I realised that, and it didn't take me too long to change my thinking. I realised that it's 100% within my power to provide that education if necessary. Really, all I needed to do was get better at explaining the value of what we do and the benefits of working with us. So I created a new sales script that really focuses on the value of what we do and the benefits of working with me and my team. It used to be a long list of features, and I assumed that people needed that list of features in order to really understand what they were going to get by investing with us. And I'm not saying that they don't need that, but they probably need that just right at the end of the process, just to confirm that they are going to get all of the things that they hoped for, along with the real benefits of working with us. So that's given me confidence to raise our rates. And I was actually thinking not that long ago that we might need to reduce them. So since I've created the new sales script and kind of rediscovered the value of what we can offer PTs that other businesses can't offer, I've got renewed enthusiasm for every sales meeting. I actually look forward to them with confidence. If our website system is genuinely too expensive for someone, then I totally respect that, of course. I know not everyone can drop a few $1,000s just like that on a new website. But let's get serious now for a minute. Whether you're just setting out in business or if you're already well established, I understand that you want to keep expenditure under control. But how can you hope to grow a profitable business if you're not willing to invest in it? You might get enough clients eventually to make a profit, but it's probably going to take a while, and we could be talking years of struggling. Why not invest so that you can accelerate that process and skip the years of struggling and get to the big profits faster? Here's an analogy that I came up with this morning on the drive into the office. I hope you like it. If you don't invest properly in your business marketing, it's a bit like buying a car to take you on a journey and not buying fuel, gas, or petrol, as we call it here in the UK. Buying a car and then just waiting to see if it'll move on its own, or thinking that you might as well push it yourself because right now you've got the energy and the time to do that. Okay, it's not a perfect analogy. It might need a little bit more work. It might come back in another podcast episode a bit more refined, but hopefully you get the gist of it, what I'm trying to express. When I first started out in business, and actually for many years of being in business, I treated every penny that I invoiced for as my money, and it felt to me like expenses were coming out of my pocket, reducing my income. Eventually I was able to change my thinking, and now I see expenses very differently. Expenses are a cost of doing business, or said differently, expenses are an investment. Think about that. So let me bring this back to websites now. A website is without doubt an investment. Or actually I should have said a good website is without doubt an investment. Like a member of staff is an investment. Yes, it costs money, but if you invest wisely, you get a return on your investment. If you look at a website as a cost, or something that you could save money on by getting a cheaper one, you're fooling yourself. Because a bad website, even if it looks good, it's going to cost you a fortune. All the leads and new patients that it should be creating for you, but it doesn't. The lifetime value of each patient that you could have had, but you didn't get because of the website. On the other hand, a good website is going to make you a fortune. So if you're looking for ways to save money, you really, really need to think twice about cutting corners on your website. Now, let me tell you a little story. I talked to a potential new client last week. She's based in Arizona and her name is Mary. She's been a PT for 18 years and she's always worked in home health. She started her own business about a year ago, and it's a mobile business. She visits people in their own home. So she's identified her niche. Her perfect patient is a senior who's at risk of falling. So Mary will work with them to improve their balance and then eventually transition them to wellness, as these people tend to neglect their health. Great so far, okay? But Mary told me that her biggest problem is marketing. So I took a look at her website before our meeting, and it's not very good. And I'm sure she won't mind me saying that. I told her that. So she built it herself, and guess how many leads she gets from it each month? Yeah, none. She's even invested money in SEO and Facebook ads, and she told me, without any doubt in her mind, she said, Facebook ads don't work for me. So I explained to her that Facebook ads do work, it's the website that's the problem. Getting people to the website is working fine, but when they get to the website, they don't take any action. The website is all wrong. How can Mary hope to raise her rates to be able to afford to move into a brick and mortar location like she really wants to? Answer: invest in a lead generating website. This is going to attract better qualified leads, people who are more willing to pay for treatment. So Mary currently only charges $150 an hour. So again, how can she hope to raise her rates and get a brick and mortar business? She needs the right website. And this comes back to the masterclass that I did last week. She needs the right website with the right written content, the right social proof, and the right forms. Then she'll get more and better leads, so she can charge more, make more profit, and invest more in her business to grow it to where she wants it to be. It's simple, really, isn't it? So in order to just try and wrap this up, talking about pricing, if you're not willing to invest, you might still make it to where you want to get to eventually. It's going to take a lot longer, basically. If you invest in the right marketing for your business, and I'm going to include a website within that marketing term, you solve a lot of problems. You're able to communicate better with potential patients. You're able to reach them because you're going to get found easier, because your website's going to rank higher in search engines naturally because of it having good, unique content that resonates with your perfect patients. You can attract better patients who will be more compliant, stay on their plan of care for longer. Profits go up. You can invest the profits in moving your business forward quicker. It's all very simple, and it all starts with making the right decision, I believe, about your website. The website should be the hub of all of your marketing. So that's it from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have any comments or if you want to start a conversation, you can find ways to contact me on our website at directresponsept.com, and all our social media links are on there too. Thank you for listening. Over and out.